party. The first Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall.
Nobody, and I mean nobody, in that courtroom was ready for what went down. Not the jury, not the lawyers, not even the veteran reporters who'd been glued to every second of this trial since day one. And definitely not Diddy, because that was the day Prince, yes, that Prince, spoke from beyond the grave. Everything started off normal, just another chaotic day in a high-profile circus. Cameras snapping outside like it was the Grammys. Reporters squeezed into the gallery, trying to look calm, but dying for something juicy to happen. Diddy's family walked into the court with their heads hanging low.
Diddy Cole is now guilty. Tell them to God. No, we turn it over to God. Nothing nobody can do. Pray to God. Pray to the Most High Jesus Christ. Pray to God.
Are you confident about the trial?
Pray to God. Seek His face. Like He said. Turn from
How is it get inside court?
Seek His face. Seek His face. Turn to God.
But Diddy was calm that day. He was smiling like he had the whole game under control. But what nobody knew, the real show was just minutes away. Because that was the day everything changed.
Prince's last Diddy recording played in trial. Prince was going to expose him.
Now, we know that Diddy borrowed Prince's house for his party, but it has been said that Prince himself did not attend that party. And that is completely believable considering what kind of a person he was.
He was really health conscious. He was a vegan. He didn't abuse alcohol. I didn't know of him abusing drugs. He worked out, so, that also really concerned me because it made me think that, wow, so you mean you do all these things to take care of yourself and you die so young? It really
That's what's so frightening to many people.
It's so frightening.
Yes, the people who knew Prince and his fans never believed that he overdosed. Now here's the thing. Prince lent his house to Diddy for a party, but what nobody knew is that Prince had the camera rolling and he probably got everything on tape. The insiders have revealed what allegedly went down in the court, so let me tell you what exactly happened. It started with these unmarked boxes being wheeled into the courtroom. Then two unfamiliar tech guys show up at the prosecution's table and start quietly hooking up some kind of equipment. 4 security guards suddenly station themselves directly behind Diddy. That hadn't happened on day 1 or day 2. Something was off. And the judge walks in, does his usual greeting, then drops a line that instantly tensed the room. I expect complete composure in my courtroom today. Any disruption will result in immediate removal. What? Even the most jaded journalists were texting each other like, yo, what are they about to drop? You could feel it. Something huge was coming. The prosecution started off slow, almost like they were lulling everyone into a false sense of routine, going over old testimonies, playing it safe, until suddenly they hit pause, and then came the sentence that dropped jaws. Your Honor, the prosecution would now like to introduce newly authenticated audio evidence. Diddy's lawyers jumped to their feet. Objection. They hadn't been told about any new evidence. It was improper. It was unfair. They were scrambling. But the judge was not buying it. Motion denied. And then the prosecution said, what you are about to hear is the final private recording made by Prince Rogers Nelson before his death. You could have heard a pin drop. The courtroom froze. Even the court stenographer stopped typing for a moment in shock. And Diddy? That smile he had when he walked in was gone. The recording started. No music, no statement, just Prince breathing. Deep, calm, like he was about to say something he knew could cost him everything. I'm making this recording because I don't know who to trust anymore, Prince said, his voice low, deliberate. The rock star persona was gone. This wasn't stage Prince. This was a scared man speaking the truth. And then he started naming names. Diddy's parties, Miami, Beverly Hills, the Hamptons, exact dates, specific people, exact addresses, not vague, not rumors, but receipts.
first Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in the party. That is the one thing that I thought was odd because, you know, I came one time with my security and no other security other than Diddy's security is allowed to be inside.
Witnesses had already hinted at some of this stuff, but Prince, he wasn't guessing, he was confirming. He wasn't a victim, he was a witness, and his words hit different. What happens at these parties isn't just wrong, he said. It's dangerous. I've seen who gets invited. I've seen who gets hurt.
There is one term that has gone viral since the indictment of Sean Diddy Combs, more than anything else. You've heard it here on Sidebar, you've heard it amplified in the media. It is called a freak-off. This alleged sexual performance that is at the center of this criminal case facing the rapper and producer Sean Diddy.
Diddy didn't move. He just stared forward, face pale. The attorney was whispering frantically in his ear, but got no response from him. He looked like he was watching his own empire crumble in real time. And then Prince dropped the line that cracked Diddy's whole armor. I told him it needed to stop. He laughed and said, "You might be Prince, but you're not untouchable." The courtroom went silent. Then came the outburst. Diddy stood up suddenly, not slowly, not dramatically. He snapped to his feet like a puppet yanked by a string. "That's a lie," he shouted. "He wasn't even there. That never happened." Y'all, the courtroom went wild. One juror literally flinched. It was chaos. Diddy, the man who'd kept his cool for 2 straight days, had just exploded in front of the jury. The judge was not having it. Bang! The gavel slammed. "Mr. Combs, control yourself or I will hold you in contempt." But the damage was already done. This wasn't just an outburst. This was a full-on unraveling. The jury saw it, the media saw it, and worst of all, his own lawyers saw it. And the prosecutors, they planned every second of that. See, they didn't drop that tape on day 1 when everyone's nerves were already on edge, or on day 2 when the cameras were still buzzing. They waited until day 3 when everyone had started to relax. That's when they hit play. Turns out they'd had that Prince recording for months. 3 forensic teams authenticated it. Every second of it was verified, unedited, untouched, 100% real. They timed it down to the breath. They rehearsed their delivery. They even practiced the pauses. Military-level psychological warfare. It wasn't luck, it was a strategy. And when Diddy blew up, that wasn't a surprise, that was the plan. But Prince wasn't done. As the recording continued, he got more specific names, amounts, locations, bank transfers, even exact dollar figures for hush money. $2 million here, $1.3 million there. He talked about NDAs, shell companies, and a hidden upstairs room in a Beverly Hills mansion. And guess what? Everything he said, the prosecution had already shown matching floor plans, matching financial statements. The tape confirmed every single detail. Prince even recalled a moment at the 2016 Grammys after party, face to face with Diddy. "I told him what he was doing had to stop," Prince said. He laughed again and said, "You might be Prince, but you're not untouchable." I took that as a warning. And the most chilling part was Prince's closing words. "If anything happens to me, make sure this gets to the right people. This isn't just about protecting myself. It's about protecting the ones who can't speak." You could hear a pin drop. The courtroom was frozen. Diddy looked like he'd just seen a ghost. Because in a way, he had. After the tape ended, Diddy's lawyers were a mess. They tried to get the audio thrown out, called it hearsay, said it was unfair, said it was AI, but the judge wasn't having it. "This trial will continue," he said, and that was that. And outside the courtroom, oh baby, the industry was panicking. PR teams are scrambling, and record label execs are deleting old tweets. Celebrity friends of Diddy became silent. No more support, no more reposts. Because the real question now is this: what else did Prince record? If this was the one they were willing to play in public, what's still locked in that legendary vault of his? Who else did he name? What other secrets are waiting to drop? The courtroom shook, but the aftershocks? They're coming for the whole industry. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Diddy is done for, or can he still walk free? Let's see how this unfolds. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next video.